Hello, welcome back to the Living Process. My name is Greg Madison, and this time my guest is Professor Salvador Moreno López. Salvador teaches focusing and focusing-oriented therapy in Mexico. And we talk, of course, about how he discovered focusing, which every time I ask that question, I'm surprised at the various ways that people kind of discover the world of focusing. And he talks about teaching himself focusing and then finally meeting Jean and Mary and sort of how he took it on from there. We talk a little bit about empathy and how to kind of learn or teach empathy. We spoke a bit about focusing oriented therapy and what I called nonverbal ways of working. And Salvador didn't like nonverbal because it sounds just like it's not something rather than it is something. And it's like the expressive body, the gestures, the noises. And also in Salvador's way of working, he uses chanting sometimes with clients, which sounded really interesting and touching to me. We also spoke a little bit about the kind of the social and political context within which therapy happens and within which clients live, and how to take on board the reality of people's lives and help them use psychotherapy as a way of finding steps, practical steps forward in their lives. So it was a very engaging conversation, and I hope you really enjoy it. So welcome, Salvador, to the Living Process. It's wonderful to have you here. And my first question, as usual, is just how did you ever get into focusing or Eugene Gendlin's work, FOT, any of that stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a very incidental thing because one friend, I was working with him at the university in Mexico,
Hmm.
and he told me there is something called focusing. There's a guy, this Eugene Gendlin in Chicago University. Why don't we go to talk to him and find out what it is? So we asked the university for the approval and permission. And they said, You can go, but this one. So my friend went to talk to Gene,
Okay.
and he came back to Mexico. And I said, Well, but you have to teach me to help me learn what you have learned there. I'm talking around this 1978, I guess.
Mhm.
So it's quite a while.
Mm.
In fact, his name, he was called Ricardo Blanco. His name is written in the first edition of the Focusing book.
Okay.
So, but after a few weeks, he told me, well, I guess I'm now more interested in psychoanalysis, so I will go to that direction. So you learn focusing very well. So I said, what are we going to do? I didn't have a book. I just have a lot of copies
Yeah.
that he brought from Chicago. So I started reading and I started doing what I understood
Yeah.
because I didn't know anybody else who knew about focusing. And I guess I did it quite well, I suppose, because I like 1 year later, I was looking for my passport in a very small department. I couldn't find it, and I said, "Well, if I kept the passport, I have to know what it is. I don't remember."
Mhm.
So, well, what if focusing could help me to find out my passport? So I quiet down, I sit down and make a pause, and I say, well, where did I put my passport? And after minutes or so, an image came, and I said, no, that's not possible. I have looked in that place at least 3 times. But well, I went to that place. I opened and the passport was there. So I said, "Wow, this is something very, very special." So from there, I kept practicing the way that I knew, and it was until I guess 1994 that I brought my first computer and searching for the man who was telling me how to use it. He said, give me a word, that's some theme that you are interested in. Focusing. So I found out that it was a focusing institute in New York. So I said, oh, I want to go there. So finally in 1997, I
Hmm.
went to what it was in that time, the week-long, focusing week-long.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I met Gene, I met Mary Hendricks, and I could share what I knew, and I needed badly some feedback to
Hmm.
know what I was doing. Maybe I was not focusing what I am doing. I don't know. So it was a great, great experience. So it's just like if focusing came to me, I will say.
Yeah.
Focusing found me in a way.
Yeah. That's fascinating. It makes me wonder how many other people are trying to kind of just teach themselves because they're off on their own somewhere. And
Uh-huh.
I'm curious what made you keep going? Why were you interested in this thing called focusing and just reading these photocopies?
I'm really not sure. I don't
Yeah.
remember quite well, but I am sure that when I found my passport,
Hmm.
that was a breaking point for me.
Yeah.
Like I experienced very well that here is something that is worthy for me.
Yeah.
My body, if I
Hmm.
listen to me from my body,
Yeah.
I can know more that I can if I try to think
Yeah.
or look at what is conscious already.
Yeah. That was a selling point for you that your
Yeah.
body obviously in some way it knows more than you are consciously aware of.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
And another aspect of this experience
Mhm.
is that I thought, well, this is for daily life. I didn't think it in relation to therapy, for example.
Interesting.
I appreciate it as
Mhm.
something valuable, useful for daily life.
Mhm. That's interesting. So when you finally met Jean and Mary and other people, and you compared, I guess, what you had developed as focusing compared to what they had developed as focusing, was it pretty much the same?
Yeah, I was really surprised with that.
Wow.
I was really, really surprised. I didn't expect
Yeah.
that similarities. I thought that maybe I was in a very different direction or different way.
Hmm.
And no, I don't know how that happened,
Hmm.
but I was glad to discover that was pretty much the same. And I have a conversation with Mary Hendricks, and he accompanied doing some focusing, and I say, "Oh, you do it pretty well. I'm surprised that you have understood it by yourself." I'm lucky, I guess.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But that year, Jean had a very bad accident going to the airport.
Right.
So
Okay.
it canceled that workshop.
Yeah.
But Mary Hendricks invited me to go to the focusing weekend, it was 10 days.
Okay. Yeah.
So I first did it. And then in 2001, I came back and I did the TIA workshop with Gene.
Right. Okay. Because I remember
Yeah.
the first time I met you, you were this famous person from the TAE demo with Gene.
Yeah.
So when you went to the week long, there was something about the process that kept you interested. How did you develop it after that?
Uh, I start looking more to my therapy
Yeah.
sessions and trying to find out how could I improve or integrate some of the attitudes, ideas,
Hmm.
skills from focusing.
Hmm.
And I started discovering that I was being able to better understand the people that I was talking to in therapy.
Hmm.
And I made a connection with something that I was interested from for me for many years before. It was empathy.
Hmm.
When I learned about empathy with Carl Rogers, once I asked him, and then some other people asked him too, how do we learn to be empathic?
Yeah.
He said, well, it's being with somebody who is empathetic. Uh, and I said, well, but I think that's not enough for me. I need something else. So without thinking too much, I started putting together several things, mainly from the philosophy of implicit and focusing,
Hmm.
a little bit from theater also. So I arranged some steps to learn empathy, to develop empathy. So I presented this proposal the first time in the 2000 Congress in Chicago. And I
Okay.
said, well, the first thing is we have to recover the richness of our senses. Maybe actually, I'm too far from my body, so I have to recover
Hmm.
and be aware. I see, I hear, I smell, I touch,
Hmm.
everything. And this seems very simple. However, I start realizing that was a very rich experience, paying real attention with my different, my several senses.
Hmm.
And then I said, I have to be quiet inside. There is too much noise. And if I have too much noise, thinking, talking to myself,
Hmm.
then I can listen to other people and I cannot listen to myself either.
Yeah.
So what can I do to be more quiet in an inner silence? So I started practicing some activities like paying attention to my breath
Hmm.
or looking at things in a mindful way, I will say. I didn't know anything about mindfulness in that time, but now I would say it in this way. So,
Hmm.
and a friend of mine who was a theater director, he made some workshop. And one of the activities is we are going to do an activity that is called the magic as if. And you have to imagine that you are an animal, you feel that you are that animal, and just behave as if were that animal. And that I found that very interesting.
Hmm.
So I thought, if I want to develop my empathy, I can imagine that I am another person
Hmm.
and put it inside that other person and try to feel, think, act as if I were.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
what that was a way of practicing. So I found out that that also helped me
Yeah.
to feel more comfortable,
Yeah.
letting myself feel as if I were another person.
So let me say that back to you because I've never heard it broken down so um, kind of concretely that to practice empathy, the first thing is you need to find your sensing body.
Yes.
It's like you need to find yourself inside of your body with your senses alive in some way.
Yes. Yes.
And then the second thing is you need to become quiet inside of yourself. So there's a little
Hmm.
bit more space. You can't be full of thoughts and assumptions and interpretations and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
That sounds difficult. How, and you said, I think, paying attention to your breath, that seemed to be enough for people to just calmly get inside of themselves?
If you practice, I will say almost daily, at least 15 minutes,
Hmm.
you that kind of helps.
Okay.
It takes, well, it took me a very long time. And sometimes it is difficult for some people. I have seen, no, it's too many times that you have to do it. It's too much time.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know a short way to accomplish this. Another activities, for example, if I listen to the music, just allowing to feel the music with my body.
Hmm.
My attention is in my body,
Yeah.
feeling the music.
Yeah.
That's another way or if I, for example, in a park or in a forest, listening to the sounds
Hmm.
without thinking
Hmm.
what is producing those sounds.
Hmm.
Just listen to the sounds and
Hmm.
again, paying attention to my body
Yeah.
and be aware of how I feel
Yeah.
listening to those sounds.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I can immediately imagine that that does both things. It opens your senses and it's sort of empties all of the chatter.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is this as if, where you ask something like you ask yourself down inside, what would it be like if I was this other person?
Hmm.
What comes to me if I ask myself, what would it be like to be living in them?
Hmm. Hmm.
And those three things, then you can feel empathy forming. You're much more in connection with yourself and the other.
Yes. There is a four
Okay. Right.
facet of this.
Okay.
And this is sort of like I will call it a contemplation.
Mm.
For example, if I remember very well, once that I was just in a place in a forest, there was a cascade, a small waterfall.
Hmm. Yeah.
I was there feeling, listening without thinking, and looking at the water falling down.
Hmm.
And I guess I was maybe 1 hour and a half or 2 hours. This is in a contemplative way, I will say.
Hmm. Okay.
Of course, sometimes some thoughts
Hmm.
comes to my mind, but okay, I'm busy. Please wait,
Hmm.
wait a minute. I'm busy now, looking and feeling this waterfall. So when there is a person, and I did it several times. I was in a park, in a bench. I was looking at people, and instead of thinking, oh, that person is doing that or is dressed in this way. I was looking, watching at them, and
Hmm.
how do I feel watching those people? And trying to allow myself also
Hmm.
to feel whatever it came.
Hmm.
Sometimes they came some sensation or feelings that I thought, this is crazy. And I will have to say myself, no judgment, no anticipate, just be aware
Hmm.
and stay with whatever it comes to you.
Interesting. I'm curious if that's the same because there's the one step where it's as if you're the other person, and then what you're saying
Yeah.
there is what comes to me in response to that person.
Yeah.
Is that the same?
There, no, it's not the
No.
same because in the first one,
Yeah.
I intentionally I allow myself, even I can move and I speak as
Hmm.
if I were the other person.
Okay.
It's in a
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
active way, as in the theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
An actor has to go inside the character that he's presenting, and
Yeah.
I have to feel as if he were that character. Otherwise, you look at him and he's acting. He's not the character.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you can notice the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. You have to become them.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And in the second way, it's more like a contemplative. I'm
Hmm. Hmm.
from here
Hmm.
outside, so to speak. But I am letting myself to receive and to sense, to feel
Hmm.
whatever I sense, watching and being with
Yeah.
that person in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah. You're really sensing your response to that person's being in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm thinking immediately of psychotherapy and how both of those might be very important.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you began, as a second step, you began to integrate focusing into therapy.
Yes.
I'm curious, it sounds like you were integrating it mostly into a person-centered orientation. Is that right? Or was it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is right.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that go?
But
Was that easy or?
there is also one personal experience that I think it is present here.
Okay.
I had been in many psychotherapy experiences.
Hmm.
I was very bad when I was young, so I needed badly. But this has given me the opportunity to experience psychotherapy with people with several orientations:
Aha.
family therapy, person-centered, Gestalt, bioenergetics, even psychoanalysis.
Okay.
So that has helped me to uh, what I think about my experience is that one important facet of each experience was the relationship
Hmm.
with the therapist. It wasn't so much the theoretical orientation.
Hmm.
It was more the quality of the relationship. So that helped me to uh, see therapy in a different way, in the sense that the theoretical orientation is not the most important
Hmm.
facet.
Hmm.
It is the interpersonal relationship.
Yeah. And can you say more about that? Like what was it that was important in that what you're calling the relationship?
For example, to feel accepted, respected, understood,
Hmm.
to feel safe and so to say free to say whatever I need to say,
Hmm.
you know? And also in different ways, because it was in different ways, they showed that somehow an interest for my well-being.
Yeah.
And I give you an example. I was going through a very difficult divorce for me. I was young, I was very afraid, insecure,
Hmm.
and I didn't know how to manage the legal issues of the process. So I was so worried, and that my therapist told me, "Do you want me to get in contact with a lawyer so he might help you to solve this, and maybe he will give the information that you need so you are not afraid. You don't feel so afraid if the process maybe is more simple than you think. I said yes, so I went with this lawyer. He helped me a lot. He didn't charge anything, so that was even better. I didn't have too much money that time, and I said, yeah, I appreciate very much that gesture of her,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that was something different because what I was studying psychotherapy, most of the orientation said that the therapists don't have to do this.
Hmm.
They look more like an interfere or
Hmm.
no, it's something wrong.
That's so interesting because it's almost like that therapist sort of stepped outside of the normal boundary.
Yes,
And by doing that, really made you believe in the relationship in some way, like this person really
yeah,
cared.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. I learned something else, or I would say I began to learn something else is the real world, so to speak.
Hmm. Hmm.
It is important to know it. It's not only the way I feel in relation to it. I
Hmm.
have to know law, for example,
Okay.
instead of only imagine or think that, oh, maybe the law, maybe this,
Hmm.
just look for the information
Hmm.
and use it the
Hmm.
way you need to use it.
Hmm. Yeah. So,
Another,
yeah.
and just
Yeah. Yeah.
another very, I will say, experience was I was in psychoanalysis.
Mm.
This was not too many years ago. Um, for several years, I had the fantasy, because it was like a fantasy. What will happen if I go to my session, and if I don't say anything, I just be quiet without talking at all.
So as a
But I
therapist, you go to your patient and don't say a word?
no, as a consultant, as a patient,
Oh, as a
myself,
patient, you don't say anything. Yeah.
as a patient, if I don't say anything,
Okay.
what will happen?
Yeah.
I gonna do it? No, it's too risky. So finally, with this psychoanalyst, I did it. And I appreciate that very much. I told him, I really thank you very much. I know that it was very hard for you, and maybe it was also a risk for you. And I said, yes, yes, it was. But it was a very liberating experience for me.
Okay.
I was letting
Hmm.
myself being there without the pressure that I have to say something.
Hmm.
And I felt accepted,
Yeah.
respected,
Yeah.
accompanied.
Hmm. Yeah, that is fascinating. I can really sense that that would be a very special experience. And did the psychoanalyst interrupt at all or just completely held the silence?
Completely.
Yeah.
He told me that later, he told me that at the beginning, he was kind of fighting with himself. Should I say something? Should I be quiet? After a few minutes, he told him, oh, just be quiet and wait what happens. Oh, I said, oh, you were brave enough to do that.
Did that teach you as a therapist anything?
Of course, many, many things.
Yeah.
Once is, again, the interpersonal relationship, how it is lived by the client.
Hmm.
It is very, very important,
Hmm.
more than words.
Yeah.
So even if there is no words at all, there is a lot that is going on that is moving
Hmm.
through the experience of being with somebody that is there accompanying you
Hmm.
without judging, without pressing.
Hmm.
And I also pay more attention to whatever I can feel accompanying a client through my own feelings and sensings in science, in silences. And I guess from here, I have come also to pay more attention to the voice, gestures, looks,
Mm.
movements
Hmm.
as ways of expressing and sharing in the psychotherapy process. And I even think that there are some uh, experiencing some felt senses that cannot be expressed through words.
Hmm.
They need to be expressed through sounds, gestures, movements,
Hmm.
silences. And even when there are words, the sounds, for example, and the gestures, they integrate the meanings of the words. So the words take their meaning also
Hmm.
from the tone of voice, from the movements and the gesture
Hmm.
that accompany the word when, alas, I now speaking, for example.
Yeah. It's like the non-verbal medium of the communication is
Yeah,
very important.
yeah. And I tell you something. I don't like too much the expression nonverbal because,
Non-verbal. Okay.
see, yeah,
Yeah.
nonverbal, because it sounds to me like it doesn't have a real name. It's
Hmm.
nonverbal, like as
Hmm.
opposite to the verbal. The
Yeah.
verbal has a
Yeah.
name, and this
Yeah.
is nonverbal. No, no,
Yeah.
no. I guess it's a body expression.
Body
I don't know.
expression.
I don't have a name yet, but I feel
Hmm.
more comfortable saying it's a body expression.
Yeah. It needs a name, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Something expressive. So I want to just go back to that question about because you teach focusing to people, don't you?
Yes,
And do you teach therapists as well?
yes.
Okay. So I'm curious how it was to integrate what you were developing and learning from focusing and your own therapy experiences into teaching. What sorts of things did you start to emphasize maybe differently, and what sort of things were your students getting that maybe was not just the traditional person-centered?
Okay. Uh, I think that it's important here to know that I start interested in facilitating learning
Hmm.
when I was interested in finding a place for emotions in the learning process.
Okay.
So I first learned something about Maria Montessori and her method,
Hmm.
and then I found out about Paulo Freire and her method in Brazil. And the third was Freedom to Learn from Carlo Rogers.
Yeah.
So significant learning, meaningful learning was a very important discovery for me. But I have to combine it with Paulo Freire and Maria Montessori. It was not enough just to stay with the proposal of Rogers.
Hmm.
And when I start learning, focusing on the philosophy of the implicit, there was another element that was the body. It has to be an embodied learning, you know, in meaningful in an emotional way, but also meaningful in a more embodied way.
Yes.
So I start facilitating the learning of focusing, following the steps that Jean describes. But I also find out that some people seems to take that as a recipe. So it seems like they have to go step one, step two, step three, and then you said, no, you can go, no, because I have done the step four, so I have to go back to step four. I thought that wasn't a good idea because the procedure was more important than the intention and the process that was trying to promote. So then I realized that that proposal, as I understood, Jean made it as to help other people to learn focusing. It's a pedagogical or didactic proposal.
Yeah.
So that means that I can follow if it is useful, or I cannot if it's not. So I decide to open to other ways. See? And I say, for example, what is involved in focusing as a way of listening to yourself in your body and expressing from your body? As I said before, in relation to empathy, well, one thing is to pay attention to your body. And here, different persons are in different situations. No? I remember a woman who I asked, how did you feel? I don't know. What did you feel in your body? I don't know. Well, do this. And she did it. How do you feel this? I don't know. Ah! So see, again, we have to recover the richness of our senses.
Yes.
So I have to find out for each person which activities help them to recover the richness of their senses. I said, for example, if you are washing the dishes, do you feel the water in your hands? Oh, yes, that I can feel it. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to your hands and to the water falling in your hands.
Yeah.
Okay? And looking for daily activities that might help people to be more aware of their senses. Again, the second thing was how to learn to be quiet in inner silence. So you can really pay attention to your body. Because sometimes I'll ask, how do you feel in your body? I think that maybe it's not that's just thinking. I believe that. So again, how to be quiet inside without talking to you so you can pay attention to your body. And then the third step is how to find out a felt sense. One activity that has been very useful is like telling a person different words and ask the person to pay attention how it feels with each word. For example, two words that I use a lot is careful trust. So that
Yeah.
brings very, very different feeling
Mhm.
sensations
Yeah. Immediately.
immediately. I have done this in groups. It's a very interesting experience because each person interpreted each words in a very different way.
Hmm.
And sometimes I allow myself to say whatever it comes. And once I remember that I say cow, cow, I say, what am I saying this? Uh, with the sharing time, one person say, oh, with the word cow, it came to me all those memories with my grandpa when I was in the ranch. I was doing this and what? So this has helped me to trust
Yeah.
and say whatever it comes.
Yeah.
Most, I will say 99% of the time, there is at least one person for whom that new word is very meaningful in
Mhm.
some way.
Can I ask, how do you understand that? That just by being so open and not censoring yourself and saying what comes to you, you are in some way almost speaking something that's significant for someone else.
Yeah. The way I understand is if I allow me to be connected with the people,
Hmm.
if I allow myself to receive all uh, they're experiencing,
Hmm.
then that's in me. But it's in me in a way that I don't know consciously.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can think about it.
Yeah,
I have to allow myself to express it from my
yeah,
own experiencing.
yeah, yeah. And when you say that, I get the sense that you have a different sense, idea, philosophy, conception of the body, that the body
Yes,
somehow is something more than just this.
yes. But I also connect this with that what Jean says, interaction first.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was
We
thinking.
are
Hmm.
interactions. It's not that we are in interaction. We are
Hmm.
interactions.
Hmm. Yeah.
So we are just recovering, paying attention, these connections that are there,
Hmm.
but we quite often don't pay much attention to that.
That's interesting because if we go back earlier in the conversation when we were talking about empathy, and I was maybe mistakenly making a distinction between it's as if I'm the other person when you're really being the other person, and that that's different from having a felt response to the person.
Yes,
What you're saying now makes me think, well, it's not quite that clear cut because you and the other
right.
person are not totally separate to begin with.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I said so before in the context of a learning group to develop empathy.
Uh-huh.
So you might emphasize that
Hmm.
in that
Hmm.
way. But I agree with you that they are not separate
Yeah. Yeah.
in the real relationship I
Yeah. Yeah.
to integrate. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess that's why your experience with the psychoanalyst was so significant. It wasn't that you were two separate beings being completely
Yeah.
silent with each other. Something
Yeah.
was happening in the silence.
Yes. Yes.
I'm curious too, you were mentioning the Montessori and the Freya.
Freire. Yes.
Yeah. How do they had some influence in the way you were teaching?
Well, in Montessori,
Yeah.
They give a lot of freedom to
Okay.
children to
Mm-hmm.
move, but they have materials to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And they emphasize a lot the daily life. So that's one thing that I said, yeah, you have to be connected with the daily life. It's not something separate from daily life.
Yeah.
And Freire, he said, the all education is social. We educate with each other. I don't educate someone else. We educate together with each other in a social and political specific context that we have to transform in the direction of equality, justice, and to get rid of the oppressive situations.
Interesting. And do you bring that in some way when you're teaching FOT?
Yeah, because there is I put it here in the concept of lived world. I don't
Lived
know if I
world.
okay. Lived world.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, I am in psychotherapy with a person. The person is talking about he's living in a real situation
Mm-hmm.
with persons in a social context, with an economic situation, with political issues.
Mm-hmm.
And the person might say, I feel very angry, very unsure, very frustrated because I can find a way to get a better income.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't, I don't think that that's only an individual personal problem. Or you have to work harder,
Mm-hmm.
or you have to make a better effort, or you have to look for in other places. There are real difficulties
Mm-hmm.
in the social and economic structure
Yeah.
that make almost impossible for a person to get a better income because quite often those people work many hours a day
Mm-hmm.
or they have two or three different jobs to get up better income, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
So I said we have to reflect, to think, to analyze also what is going on there. Otherwise, people sometimes feel guilty
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or there must be very wrong in me because I'm not able to get a better situation in my life.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not a personal guilt. It's a social structures situation that is making difficult for you and for many others.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, we quite often hear the if you want, you can't. No, I want, but I can't because if I can't or not is not something that depends only in
Mm-hmm.
myself, but
Mm-hmm.
it's in the situation and the conditions that are around my living.
Yeah, there is a reality of social life as it's constructed
Yeah,
that creates obstacles that are real.
yeah. Or for example, I have heard this with several women, for example, that in a process of divorce, in a violent relationship,
Mm-hmm.
one of the threats are that if you divorce from me, say the husband say, I will take the kids from you. The kids will stay with me, and you won't have any chance to relate to them.
Mm-hmm.
So for that many women, that's very threatening situation.
Yeah.
So they think, well, I don't have any other alternative, but I have to stay here, even if my husband hits me or inflicts some different harms. But what if this woman can look for a support group
Mm-hmm.
where they can find a legal advice or even a housing support?
Mm-hmm.
Sometime a colleague told me, "Well, you tell her that go out of her house." Oh yeah, and where is gonna go? Because maybe her mother or her father they tell her, "No, you have to stay there." As we say sometimes, it's your cross, it's your suffering.
Yeah.
You have to maintain there. So she doesn't have a support in her family. So she needs a different place with different people
Mm-hmm.
where she can find a real support to go and live there and be protected.
Yeah. So you would, I totally agree with you, but I'm just noticing that you would include as part of your, maybe part of your responsibility as a therapist is to know a little bit about the realities of the world. And even if you don't know specifically what kind of advice to give, you take
Hmm.
seriously that there is a reality being lived outside of
Yeah.
your office.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Can I ask, does that, I know for myself and colleagues that there's a time when if you're working with especially people that are in an underprivileged situation for a while, it can feel like it's not enough to be seeing them once a week in your office, doing what you can to support them and help them perhaps find a way forward in their lives. There comes a point when you feel like you want to participate in changing the reality that they're living in. And I'm wondering if you ever feel that as a therapist and as a teacher, professor, that you feel like a part of your work actually is outside of the consulting room and trying to change the world so that it's more equal or fair.
Yeah. That's that's a whole issue.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I tell myself that try to do the best you can
Yeah.
in the situation that you are able to move.
Hmm.
I have to amplify that situation. And I think, for example, more working with groups. Uh, well, in fact, I had a group with women who had in children with some kind of discapacity. So they felt overwhelmed, tired, with a lot of physical body pains,
Hmm.
headaches, back pain, and a lot of things. They came to the group mostly because the director of the center where they went, their children, almost they said, "You have to come to this group." So they came because they didn't have time.
Hmm.
But it was amazing how I start teaching or facilitating the learning of listening to themselves, the manner of focusing and expressing from there. And there were several things that start happening. For example, some of them they say, "Oh, it's less tired to drive to take my children because I am not fighting with the traffic." And I realize that I do the same time. If I go just tense and trying to go very fast, that if I go more relaxed. So I'm not so tired and I don't have my back pain.
Hmm.
Some headaches have disappeared. Yeah, oh, that's wonderful. And then another woman came and said, oh, I'm very happy because finally I did it. I went home. I took, I don't know, they were a recipient to put hot water. I took it to my room and I told my husband and children, for 15 minutes, I'm not here. You have to take charge of everything. Don't disturb me. So I went to my room. I put my foot in the hot water. I gave me a massage in my foot. It was a wonderful experience.
Wow.
There were years that I haven't done that because I didn't have time.
Hmm.
But I also discovered that nothing wrong happened.
Hmm.
House didn't uh, fall down.
Hmm.
My husband and my kids, they could manage whatever they need be to take care of.
Yeah.
So I gonna do this at least twice a week.
Yeah. 15 minutes
Yeah,
for herself.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a third action that also caught my attention. This woman said, last night my daughter was with her daughter trying to help her to sleep, but the child was very uncomfortable, crying, and my daughter couldn't find a way to help her. So I thought maybe I do something something similar to what we have done in the group. I help. So I said, my daughter, please let me stay with her. And I tell the child, let's put your hand over your stomach. You can feel how it moves. So let your attention just be in your hand and in that movement. See how it goes up and down, up and down. In 3 minutes, the child was slept.
Wow.
Not crying, she was sleeping very well. He said, I was very surprised. How I was more surprised because we never said, you can do it this with all
Mm.
other people. But she didn't.
Yeah.
She thought about it and
Yeah.
she found a better solution than yelling or fighting with the child. So I think maybe there are just small actions
Hmm.
because there are problems that are bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe to do this is better than do nothing.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm hearing is there's something about a group like you were offering that in different ways for each person was empowering.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We're coming up to time, so I wanted to just ask if there's anything at the moment that you're particularly kind of passionate about or interested in or developing that you would like to mention?
Yes, this attention to the voice gestures as a way of receiving the expression of the person, understanding how
Hmm.
she or he feels, it's very valuable. And it's also important to somehow let the person know that he can express through these ways.
Hmm.
Sometimes a person may say, I don't find words. Well,
Hmm.
maybe there is no words. Maybe there is a sound, a movement, a
Hmm.
gesture.
Hmm.
Look if any of those possibilities might help you to express whatever you are feeling.
Hmm.
And at the same time, I'm allowing myself also to express more in this way. Sometimes I don't say something. I just make a sound or a small chant or a movement. The other day, I thought I was said something very meaningful to a person. And then she said, "Oh, that movement that you make with your hand, it was very meaningful to me because," and then she started. I was paying attention to my words, and she said, "No, the movement that you make, oh, it's okay." But that helps me to value
Yeah.
more these ways of expressions.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes me aware that in psychotherapy, there's so much attention to the words,
Yeah,
so little attention to the manner of expressing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just finally, the other day with a consultant also, she was very depressed and I say, um, do you mind if I chant a little bit for you? And she said yes. So I make my chanting, and at the end she said, "Oh, that was just great, wonderful. I felt that I was being rocking by my grandma
Mm.
with tenderness
Hmm.
and love, and I was so meaningful to me." And then she said, "You did very well, do you know? You have a gift there." Oh, I guess I do.
How is that for you?
Oh, I just feel very, very emotional,
Yeah. Yeah.
grateful also.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and also that makes me feel more confident. Oh, this is
Mhm.
something that I can do, that I
Mhm.
know how to do, and it is to share with others
Yeah.
when somehow it feels that it's a right moment to do it.
Yeah. And when you say chanting, is it a particular kind of chanting or?
See, that's another way of doing this here is something that it comes in that particular moment with this particular person.
Okay.
So the once a person say, "Could you chant me that again?" Yeah, I'm sorry because I am not chanting a song that I learned or
Hmm.
chant that I learned. I'm just letting myself chant. But I can do it in any way.
So it's something that comes very spontaneously in the moment with
Yeah,
that person.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And here is a lot of experiences that we could keep talking for a long time. The important thing is that I have feedback from the
Yeah.
persons.
Yeah. I hear that.
That's very important and very valuable for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that has opened and broadened more the field.
Yeah. That is so interesting. Yeah. I wonder what's it. I immediately think there's something so meaningful being communicated without any words. It's almost a little bit more energetic when it's in a
Yeah,
chant.
yes, I think so.
Yeah. 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 I can imagine that being very moving for both people.
Hmm.
Intimate.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for this time. I've really appreciated it and nice to interact with you.
Oh, I enjoy it very much, Greg, and I appreciate it. I thank you very much also. Yeah.
Okay. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.